1. The Sun is the solar system. We live on the planet, so we think it's an equal member of the solar system, but that couldn't be further from the truth. The reality is that the mass of the Sun accounts for 99.8% of the mass of the solar system, and most of that final 0.2% comes from Jupiter. So the mass of the Earth is a fraction of the mass of the solar system. Really, we barely exist. 2. The Sun is mostly hydrogen and helium. If you could take apart the Sun and pile up its different elements, you'd find that 74% of its mass comes from hydrogen, with 24% helium. The remaining 2% includes trace amounts of iron, nickel, oxygen, and all the other elements we have in the solar system. In other words, the solar system is mostly made of hydrogen. 3. The Sun is pretty bright. We know of some amazingly large and bright stars, like Eta Carina and Betelgeuse, but they're incredibly far away. Our own Sun is a relatively bright star. If you could take the 50 closest stars within 17 light-years of the Earth, the Sun would be the 4th brightest star in absolute terms. Not bad at all. 4. The Sun is huge but tiny. With a diameter of 109 times the size of the Earth, the Sun makes a really big sphere. You could fit 1.3 million Earths inside the Sun, or you could flatten out 11,990 Earths to cover the surface of the Sun. That's big, but there are some much bigger stars out there. For example, the biggest star that we know of would almost reach Saturn if it were placed inside the solar system. 5. The Sun is middle-aged. Astronomers think that the Sun and the planets formed from the solar nebula about 4.59 billion years ago. The Sun is in the main sequence stage right now, slowly using up its hydrogen fuel. But at some point, in about 5 billion years from now, the Sun will enter the red giant phase, where it swells up to consume the inner planets, including Earth, probably. It will slough off its outer layers and then shrink back down to a relatively tiny white dwarf.